The reason I'm using a file here most of the time and not just something like a sanding stick, I want to make sure this edge here does not get rounded off. I really don't. And using this with the soft center, chances are it's going to round it off. That's why I'm sticking with files for shaping this. Because I want to make sure, like I said, make sure this edge stays a 90-degree edge down here. The stiffness of the file will do that. Well, you can afford a $1,000 3D printer, but you can't afford a $8 set of files. What's up with that? All right, a little bit more filling in on this edge, and we should be okay to move on. My point's still valid. No matter how much it costs, you can buy that. You can buy some fancy shit, but you can't buy a basic tool like a file. Uh-huh. I know, typical internet modeler with all this fancy shit and none of the basics. Way to go, Doomer. Way to go. Or to put it in your language, WTG. Maybe if I just start talking in letters, you'll understand. Yeah, there you go. You like going to Andy's so much, go to Andy's and buy you some files. Tech! Hello, Tech. This is a recovery of somebody else's. Somebody else started this, and I'm trying to get it the rest of the way together. I don't know. I'm not real sure what they did on the turret here, but it was not pretty, but we pretty much have it down here now. He's got to have some files at the store, Doomer. Got to. Has to. Like, has to. Yeah, you gotta kind of look at it part by part and try and figure out where they went wrong. But like I said, I got it nailed down. So, like the suspension, I had to use the pliers a little while ago to get the suspension all leveled out, you know, and break one or two of them off to get it back on. But I got the turret. I just have a sink mark to fill in right now. I got the turret main, so the rest of it, other than some easy stuff like the wheels are together already, the rest of it, luckily this is where they stopped. So the rest of it, I should be able to just, rest of it should be mine. You know, I shouldn't have a problem with the rest of it. But yeah, you do have to be able to look at a kit, look at a build, and that somebody else has done if you're trying to fix it, and see kind of where where they went wrong, type of thing. Usually, it's either normally, I'd say 85% of the time, it's part cleanup or part alignment. A lot of times, also, it's like locating pegs and stuff that really prevent it from going together. Normally, it's something basic that isn't right, so you can trace it back to the where the first mistake was, and usually everything builds off of that first mistake, you know. So once you get the first mistake taken care of, everything else a lot of times falls back into place after that. But it can take a different, you do kind of have to look at it slightly different than if you were doing, say, a normal build from the beginning, yeah. A lot of times it's not worth it fixing it. But in this case it wasn't. It was bad, but not unfixable in this case. I have another one here that came in. I have another one here in a worse situation. It does make it. You just got to be more careful. It is harder than the surrounding plastic, but I'm just used to it. You just get used to it. But yeah, this one is even worse. put together because I'm not sure what they even started trying to do here. This is the other one that came in at the same time. That, I gotta figure out what's broken and what's put together wrong and what... Yeah, this is the other one that came in with the same thing. Yeah, using raw CA, you have to use a little bit coarser. Like here, I'm using files here so I don't mess up the edge. You do have to go a little bit coarser when you're sanding, and just make sure you really gotta pay attention to where you're sanding. Because if you just blindly sand around, yeah, you'll just wear the plastic down. Not a lot. I get a couple a year. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 a year I might get in. And I also get, in that 4 or 5, I get, can you fix a couple of parts? Like this. This, M113 tailgate, I literally just have to fill in all the ejector pin marks on the back of it. Like, all I'm doing on this is filling in the, on the whole kit, is filling in these ejector pin marks. I do get some of that in. Hey, whatever I gotta do to pay the bills. Right? Especially the situation right now, I'm really not gonna say no to anything. But this I am actually building all the rest of the way. The front here was just a giant sink mark, that's all. That's what I'm fixing right there. No, this is one of Trumpeter's earlier kits. It's definitely not one of their better kits. But it's still buildable. I'd still build this one over the Tamiya one. Even with this fault, this is better than the Tamiya one. You want to know the secret to not putting file marks everywhere? The reason you get file marks is actually from the edges. Is actually from the edges of the file, right? To avoid... I'm trying to see if I can zoom in on this so you can see what I did. To avoid... Where's the camera? To avoid the file marks... Let me focus in on this. Hang on. To avoid the file marks, you see what I did to the tip of this? If I hold it this way, you can kind of see it. Take a grinder. You can see, yeah, you can see if I go like that. Take a grinder and round off the edge, okay? Take a grinding wheel, round off the edge. And also on the sides, round over the edges of the flat files. This way when you're filing, because what happens to the file marks is the corner or the edge actually digs in. The corner of the file actually digs in, and that's where the file mark comes from. So if you take a grinder and gently, slightly round over the square edges. Now, obviously, keep one so you can do it, but one I'm using like this for flat filing. Round over the edges, so that'll prevent the file marks from happening. You're gonna get a Stern Tiger, okay. AFV Club. You got the Tamiya one, which is okay-ish, but it's an easy build. If you want the better one, the AFV Club kit gives you like the whole interior and everything in it. I believe it does. Yeah, Stern Tiger is a pretty unique vehicle. Alright, now we got the messes taken care of. We can move on with just putting this damn thing the rest of the way together. I'm gonna go get a fill up. Be right back, guys. Yeah. Oh, the RFM does too, Cav? I'll be right back. Let me get a fill up. Well, why isn't it built yet, Cav? Why is it in the stash and not finished, Cav? Huh? What's the excuse? Come on. What is the excuse? Why is it not built? Tell us. Actually, I think I hit 6K last night. Hang on. Nope, I'm at 59.92. So next one I do some more, I'll hit 6K. I'm at 59.92. Yeah, it had to have been loud as anything, I would think, firing them rockets. So are you calling yourself a hoarder? Is that why you haven't done it yet, Cav? That you're hoarding tendencies? Tendencies? However you said it. Cav's a hoarder, everybody. He just admitted it. Don't let him fool you with this he never finishes kit stuff. Cav is a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder, I am a collector. Thank you very much. Like I've said, I have plans for everything on that. Everyone I have plans for. Every kit I have plans for. Wow, this fits terrible. Look at that big old gap at the bottom right there. Look at that. Look at that giant gap on the freaking bottom here. Now that is not the previous builder's fault. That is Trumpeter's fault. Yeah, that I can't blame on the previous builder. I honestly don't have many RFM kits. If they really don't do anything that nobody else does. And they're relatively new companies, so I already have the subjects they offer. I pretty much have by somebody else. Hey, all right, Tech. I appreciate you coming back in, man. Have a good night. So yeah, I honestly don't have many RFM kits. Like I said, they really don't do a whole lot of unique subject matter. They do some. They do a few, but like I have their M1240. Nobody else does. They're all good kits. I just have the subjects by everybody else. Yeah, but I mean, as far as GAAs go, I have like 2 or 3 other companies that make them. Yeah, Cooper State is resin stuff. They make nice stuff, nice kits. That's my only thing with Ryefield is they really just don't make anything that screams out, "Ooh, I got to get their kit of this" because I have so many others. Their kits are real. Like I said, the kits are good. Their subject matter is just everybody else makes the same shit. But then that's where the money is: tigers, panthers, and that whatnot. You know, that's where the money is. So everybody's got them. This looks familiar to everybody. This is how we built up the part. This is how we built up around the canopy on the on the P61. See, this does not only have uses in aircraft modeling. You see that? The exact same one we built up around the canopy on the P61. Yeah, things like I said, the kits are good. Things like engines and kits and whatnot really don't interest me because how often, unless you leave the hood open, you'll see the bottom of the engine, but you're really not going to see the whole engine and all that. The ICM, all their truck kits give you engines and whatnot too. It's just like you're not going to see most of it. Once it's together, unless you open the hood, you're not going to see most of it. La 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 la. Bart is quiet tonight. It's not time for him to be eating, but he's quiet tonight. And stop breaking off here. Let's wait. I thought you were had no more work, Bart. Thought you were done with work. And now you were free to like go fishing 24/7 and all that. Oh, this is your last. I thought last week was your last week. Okay, okay. My fault. I thought last week was your last week. Everybody's quiet. Virie's quiet. Everybody in there out there's quiet. Virie's mouth is probably full. What are you working on now, Virie? Are you doing a P-47 next? What's your next Portuguese endeavor? You can build that Gundam I sent you? Oh, that's right. You got to catch up to us, don't you? What holiday you got coming up? You're still rescribing? There we go. Look at that. See, now that stupid thing is filled in. All right, way to go. Oh, Revolution Day. I got you. Well, you'll get some days off at home, right? Get some days off from work? Or are you still going to have to go in if they start breaking stuff? Yeah, you're going to go to the museum. All right. How many day drive is that for you? How long of a drive? How long of a drive to the museum is it for you? 300 kilometer? So 180 miles. Oh, that's only like 3 hour drive. It's only like a 2.5, 3 hour drive. Okay. You'll be there in no time. You're gonna spend the whole day, couple days at the museum? Is that where they doing I follow on Facebook with all of the reproduction trucks where they're fixing all the trucks and all that? No, okay. Or is this no, this looks like a different place. Oh, it is the same place. Okay, okay. Oh, awesome. Yeah, please do. Oh, come on. This one, the other side was too small. This side's a little bit too big. No, nothing specific. Just, I want 1,000 pictures of everything. The EBR would be nice. The M5, the M60, there's a lot of information out there already. The EBR would be nice because there's not a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of information available on out there on the EBR. So that would be something a little different. That would be nice. Yeah, those French armored cars, there's not a lot of info out there. For you mean for a kit to build, Cav? The Hobby Boss is the only one I can think of that makes it. It's a pretty decent kit. Yeah, the 8 wheels with the 2 metal wheels in the center. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely interesting. I agree. It is interesting. Alright, let's get with the gun here. Oh, don't go, kid. Come on now. Stay straight. Wind up nice and straight. Oh, I messed it up. There we go. Thank you for staying straight. Whoa, that's some long ass links. The second one is a VAB. This one is a VAB. It's a French made. I think it's a French made. You can get, if they got that, you can get some photos of that too. That would be nice. Yeah, there's the EBR. That's a V100, I believe, with the Cockerel 90mm on the top. Hobby Boss makes a kit of that. And the VAB, Heller makes the VAB. Yeah, Hobby Boss, I believe, makes this version. Yeah, copy of it. Yeah, same thing. Because, you know, you can't expect Portugal to come up with their own stuff. So, with Portugal copying everybody else's stuff, that means Portugal's like the China of Europe, huh? You know, China always makes illegal copies of everything. So, Portugal is just like the China of Europe. Zero! Hello, Zero. What do you mean, tank toss build? What do you mean? What does tank toss mean? Tank toss build. Oh, you mean like with the turret off? That's been done so many times. That's like a modeling meme by this time. So many people have done that. It's just ridiculous. That looks like the engine out of a Leopard. Is that what that is? It looks like a Leopard power pack. Oh, for the M60? Okay. Yeah, it's not hilarious. To me, it's not even hilarious. It's just I get so tired of I actually get tired, especially since the war in Ukraine started. It's kind of just like not even funny anymore. Oh, look, the Russian tank with its turret blown off. Ha ha ha. Yeah. To me, it's just an overdone. It's just an overdone modeling just gimmick nowadays. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been something different, but now literally everybody does it. It's not necessarily a bad design, it's a trade off. You have to realize everything in designing any kind of weapon is a trade off for one thing or another. So they traded off the autoloader for the extra crewman and the smaller turret. So yeah, the design maybe could have been better, but anything in any kind of armored vehicle design is a trade off. There is no perfect weapon system. Look at the Abrams. They thought, oh, they're finally getting M1s. They're gonna change the war. No, they didn't. They've already destroyed what 4 or 5 of them. You know, any weapon. It's the same with any weapon system. So if they would have designed the autoloader different, the whole turret, the whole tank would have had to have been taller to accommodate that. That's why they put it where they did. You also have to realize most of the tanks now, most of the tanks that are blowing up in Ukraine are getting attacked from the top, where your traditional tank really isn't designed to protect from. All these drones and top attack munitions, any tank's main armor is in the frontal arc. So if the tank is receiving a hit where its armor is the strongest, that ammo's not going to blow up. M1s, yes, M1s were designed to fight in Europe. The M1 actually was designed kind of for what it's doing right now. But it was designed to withstand, like any tank, frontal fire. Even the Russian ones are designed to withstand frontal impacts, not top impacts, not mines, that attack from the bottom, not the hull or side shots. No tank is designed to withstand that kind of impact. Doesn't matter what nation designed it, they're not designed for that. Right, because in order to have the exactly, only the front armor is thick. Because in order to have the whole thing heavily armored, it would be too heavy and mobility would suffer. Like I said, any kind of armor, any kind of tank is designed with a trade-off. You have three things. Most armored vehicle designs, you have three things. You have armor, firepower, and mobility. Any increase in one of those three is going to decrease one of the other three. You can't have high mobility with a lot of armor. You can't have a lot of armor with, or any of that with, it just, every design is a trade-off. That's what all these people on the internet don't realize. They look at one flaw. Yeah, every vehicle out there has flaws. It is designed with flaws, okay? Every design part is a compromise. Like I said, there is no perfect tank or perfect armored vehicle. Right. Big firepower, again, adds weight, which limits mobility. Exactly. Anytime you increase one of those three, the other ones are going to suffer. No, exactly. Today's tanks are not designed. Basically, the war in Ukraine has become basically a drone and an artillery war. And like I said, tanks are not designed to withstand top attack. Tanks are designed to withstand a frontal engagement. That's why the armor is heaviest at the front. It would have been nice if this person also removed ejector pin marks from all of these parts they put on. It's like mobility. You look at these people think that a tank is like a video game. If you look at video games, the way people play, like, say, World of Tanks or War Thunder, where they sit there with the tank rocking back and forth like this, doing a... No. Tanks cannot maneuver like in these video games. Yeah, side scraping, that's a bunch of bullshit. Alright, what's going on the back here? What's added? What's not added? Why do they already have the tracks added? I don't know. Yeah, the tanks do not at any way move. Well, look at your car. Just to even take something as simple as your car. The transmission in your 2,000-pound car will not allow it to do back and forth, rocking like this. What makes you think transmission in a 60-ton tank is going to allow it to do that? Well, infantry is the only thing that can actually hold territory. But I agree, infantry will always be needed. Infantry and trucks, you gotta get there. Actually, tanks like the M1 and all that are automatics, Cav. Most modern tanks actually have automatic transmissions. Hell, even the M60s have automatic transmissions in them. There's no honor in war, Doomer. That's some romanticized bullshit. Trust me. After having been there 5 times, there's no honor in war. Anybody that says that has never actually been in the middle of it. Oh, you drove some M88s, Cav? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's a big, massive... That is a big, massive beast right there, the M88s. I've been around them, and I've helped them to recover stuff. Marine Corps had a couple of them we would use when our other, wreckers couldn't get stuff out. Those things are massive. I do have to say, M88s are freaking massive. Don't nobody care about no Navy stuff there, Dozer. Ain't nobody care about the Navy, Dozer. Damn Navy. It's a guided missile destroyer. Dozer was in the Navy. He's talking about a guided missile destroyer. Basically a boat. Basically a rowboat. Basically, it's just a rowboat. Dozer was part of the Puddle Patrol. He thinks he was in the real service, but all the Navy is the Marines taxi service. That's all. That's the Navy's only purpose, is to be the Marine Corps' taxi service. The ships do have to say though, the ships I was on did all have some decent food on them though. I can see why most sailors are a little bit on the chunky side. They do have some good ass food on them. Alright, let's get this engine deck to fit. Yeah, I agree. The Air Force chow halls are the best. I agree, Warrior. Submariners, I've been in a submarine in a museum. Obviously, I've never been in a submarine underway. You gained 20 kilogram in the Navy? No, I'm not talking about MREs. I'm talking about when you go back to the rear. I'm not talking about front line. Front line food is nasty. Actually, I have 2 cases of MREs right now. MREs really aren't that bad. Hey, that's what I should do for Nuffles. I should get Nuffles to eat an MRE. Guys. Alright, have a good one, Doomer. I should get Nuffles to eat an MRE when he's here. I got 2 cases of them. I'm gonna see if I can get him to taste one on stream. Yeah, they're actually, especially the new ones. The new ones in the last, say, 10 or 12 years aren't bad at all. When I first came in, we had sea rations, which were barely eatable. They weren't terrible, but they weren't great. I know Warrior will remember sea rats. Ev might remember some sea rats also. But Warrior, I think, might definitely remember sea rats. Nah, I can't do hot sauce. Alright, what do we got going on here? Yeah, again, I'm not a... Yeah, MREs were little bottles of Tabasco, exactly. I'm not a fan of hot sauce either. Like I said, I can't eat. I don't eat hot sauce. All right, let's try and get these edges flat so these will fit together. Damn beans. Flatline, what is that, a brand? $25 a bottle? I ain't eating nothing that's $25 a bottle. Huh, yeah. Hang on a second, guys. I can make a phone call. Alright, guys, sorry. Was it one of those, like, burn your mouth off type hot sauces? Yeah, like I said, it's one of those burn your mouth off. There's no, like, you can't be getting any flavor or nothing from that because it literally just burns your mouth off, right?